across, clicks up top.
Oh, no way.
You can do the lap belt, which comes from that side.
Interesting. Hello everyone, this is my friend Matt. He reached out to me a couple weeks ago and offered for me to do a review on his 1990 Acura Integra GS, except pretty much nothing about it is stock.
How's it going, guys? So, I got a 90 Integra, like Cameron just said. I got a Kraftwerks Supercharger on it, centrifugal Supercharger. I actually had the front mount intercooler, the charge pipe, and the catch can with the coolant overflow all custom made by Go AutoWorks.
Wow.
He made it off just measurements from email. He's out in like Alabama, I believe it is. Currently, it just has a stock GSR motor in it, 100% stock.
Wow.
Has 170 some odd thousand miles on it. It's never been opened. Stock timing belt, everything. I have the ultra intake manifold, 70mm throttle body. It's got 1000 cc injectors on it.
Awesome.
With a 320 fuel pump. It is running on E85, but I do have a tune for 85 and 91, but it's about a 30 wheel horsepower difference, so I stick to 85.
Okay. And can you give us the specs on this engine for those who don't know?
Yeah,
so the displacement? Yeah,
so it's a 1.8 liter VTEC motor. It's the same motor from 94 2001 on the GSR Integras. The compression's like, I think 10.5 is what they are stock. Before this motor, I had a Poor Man Type R in it, so it's like a GSR block with like Type R pistons and a Type R head on it, Type R cams, and that motor made 330 wheel horsepower.
Wow.
It was pretty much stock, so it just had nip-in Type R pistons in it, so just like OEM pretty much style pistons. Did a refresh on it, and then I had that for about 2 years, and I did a third gear to second gear downshift on accident, trying to go into fourth. I money shifted it, and it continued to run fine, but then it had a little bit of like a tick noise in certain RPMs. So I drove it like that for about 8 months. I didn't really care. It ran. I still raced people. It still was strong.
Holy crap.
But then my friend's girlfriend wrecked her GSR, and I bought the motor and transmission from them for about, I think it was $1,100.
And that's this motor?
And that's this motor right here.
Wow.
I'm still on the old tune, so it's not quite correct for this motor. It's a little, this motor doesn't have as much compression and is not as aggressive a cams, but it works.
So how much power are you running right now in E85?
I would say this probably is running about 300 wheel horsepower with this motor. I am gonna go to Shift Sector in April.
Okay.
Again, it's a half-mile event down in Kalinga. In November, I did it this same exact setup, and I did 137 in the standstill quarter mile. I was in 5th gear at 7,300 RPMs when I finished.
Did you just pull on that stang?
So you were about tapped out.
Yeah, I take this, even though I shouldn't. I take it to 9,000 when I need to. So my last 3 runs, I took it to 9,000 in every gear just to see if it would make me go any faster. And I did pick up a mile or two. But it's very dangerous to go 9,000 in these motors, especially with boost.
That's a
but hey, man, my theory is keep the motor stock and just boost them. They may last not as long as a built motor or as a motor they're going to put money into.
But it's so easy to find these motors, right?
It's so easy to find them. GSRs are getting harder to find because 10, 15 years ago, it was the #1 motor boosted. So people blow them up, throw them away, and so they are getting kind of hard to find, but I do have 4 GSR blocks, just in case.
Yeah.
My brother has one in his car.
You're all stocked up.
I'm all stocked up. I've had the car for 6 years, coming on 7 this year. I bought it completely stock. I actually bought it from a used car dealership.
Okay.
I almost felt like Brian O'Connor for a second when he went and bought that car in one of the Fast and Furious from like that dealership, and it was like just tucked in the back. That's exactly what this was. I was driving on one of our main streets, and I see the taillights of this car. And I went in there, I was like, hey, can I buy it? And they're like, no, sorry.
Look at the taillights then.
I just saw the 50/50 taillights. I was like, I knew that's an Integra.
Yeah.
And I bought it for $1,800 from a dealership, which is
awesome.
a bad deal. It needed some work. It ran really well. It was all stock. I actually ended up running the stock motor for about 2 years, and every Wednesday night I would go to Wednesday night drags at Sonoma Raceway. I drove it there every Wednesday, raced it every time. I would say this chassis probably has 200 plus passes on it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I did 2 seasons every single Wednesday. Every single Wednesday, 2 seasons on the stock motor, and I actually got it down to like low 15s, like 15.2s. For a 130 horsepower motor, you know, the nice thing is you don't have to worry about traction at that point. You can just floor it and it goes.
Exactly.
Now it's a little bit harder to do that.
Even with these big old tires on it. What are the tire specs?
It's got 225, 50, 15 Toyo R888Rs.
Wow. These are really thick, guys.
And they're how the car sits is how I drive it every day, rain or shine. And then this company PCI made some sweet side skirts for it. I also have PCI rear lower control arms with spherical bushings in them, the toe arms, and the trailing arm bushings. It just got a 2.5-inch exhaust all the way back, MagnaFlow muffler, MagnaFlow resonator.
Nice.
It's on Hondata V3, so it's on the Bluetooth Hondata. So right here on my tablet, I see all my gauges, see everything what's going on when I'm driving. Super awesome. The lights, the screen lights up yellow when it detects engaging.
That's cool.
And then also my shift light turns yellow as well.
Nice.
It's got kilometers in it. Only reason why is because it goes to 9,000. None of like the Integras this year go to 9. They go to 8.
Nice. Okay.
So having the VTEC motor in there and me revving it higher, I don't like seeing it like bury past 8. You know, it just doesn't look right. So I went and got like a kilometer one out of like a Japanese one, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It has actually all the interior, other than the dash and the inside corners, are pick and pull or junkyard interior.
Wow, it doesn't look like it.
And the front seats, the door panels, and the carpet are all from one car.
Okay.
A pick and pull car had like almost 300,000 miles on it.
Looks really good.
And then the rear seats I got from Fairfield Pick and Pull. They're already halfway taken out, and they're matching and everything. Other than that, just like my daily driver car slash race car. You know, it's pretty fast. I beat all the brand new 392s, all the brand new 50s, the SSs, 85 tuned, full bolt-on 335i, and I was very impressed.
That's a good win.
We were pretty close. And then when I hit 5th gear, my car just opens up in 5th gear, so I start pulling on the top end. I would say the Camaros are probably the slowest ones out of all of them, which is weird.
Really?
Yeah, I would say the Mustangs are the fastest, or always would get the closest to me, then the 392s, and then the SSs. Dude, the SSs are just, I can't say they're slow, but they're definitely slower out of the other 3. It's been a really good car. I've gone through a couple motors in it, a lot of transmission issues. I drive it really hard with these sticky tires. Just going to 2nd gear, how I go to 2nd gear every time kind of goes through bearings.
Yeah.
I eat up bearings, so I'd probably pull the transmission out like 10 times a season.
Oh my goodness.
Just because I pull it out and I go through a bearing or 2 or whatever, and I just have like a junkyard of gear sets that I just rob bearings off of, or anything that I damage collars.
So this is your like full-time hobby.
It is. It's literally this car's my hobby. Everyone's like, man, that thing's not very reliable. It breaks all the time. I was like, I break it. It doesn't break. I'll drive it to LA. I have no issues. Like, I drove it here. It was a 2-hour drive, 85 miles per hour the whole way, no issues.
I absolutely love. I mean, I just posted a video. It was like 4 cars that I plan to have on my channel someday, and they were all cars from the 90s. I am obsessed with 80s and 90s cars. We were talking about this before on before we started recording, but they just look better. They're just so
the body
simple.
lines are so nice.
Yes, yeah, they're so simple, and all the pillars are really thin. The visibility is phenomenal.
Yeah, you can see everything.
I mean, I love these cars.
You like how I have all this money into it, but I have a broom handle for a prop?
You know what? It works.
Not bad. That linear boost is so nice.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude. That was 2nd gear?
Yeah, and see, no spin. That's one I love about the Supercharger. It's like, generally you have a Honda with 300 horsepower, you're sitting there like spinning. This will not spin.
I think supercharging makes the most sense with Honda motors because since you have VTEC, you know that the engine is going to continue to make power to redline, right?
Yep.
So what they lack is torque, and you want controllable torque.
Yeah, because
So
you give a
Supercharger.
Honda too much torque, they start spinning.
Exactly.
And the VTEC crossover in this thing is at
5,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's just so smooth, huh?
Yeah!
Like you don't feel like this crazy boost kicking in and out. It just simultaneously goes.
I love how low it is to the ground. I mean, this is cool.
Yeah, the seats are nice, so everything's just like low. The roof's low. It just kind of, I just like the style of this car.
And it's really smooth.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, just like super, just like, it's simple, you know? It's not like when you hit the boost, it's not just like super hard, you know? It's just super linear. All the way up to 85, it just feels the same. It just, I never want to shift this car because it just wants to go.
Yeah.
That was just a fourth gear. I like second the most.
Oh my god! Whoa!
It's just like, I don't know. It
That
just
pulls
works.
so strong!
Not
that
bad for
is-
300 horsepower.
Yeah.
And I can really feel too like another person in this car. Like when it's by myself, it just feels faster.
This is the fastest car I've ever been in.
Actually, for some reason, I don't know why, it will only go to 8 PSI. So I think this thing's really only going to 8 now. The old motor was 10. I don't know why this motor for some reason is only creating 8. It's not like a turbo, so it's not running off like compression.
So that was only 8 PSI?
It only pulls 8 with this motor. I don't know why.
God, dude.
You see why I drive this as much as I
Yeah.
can.
This is the fastest car I've ever been in.
And look, IATs, 102.
Okay. Well, whoever made your intercooler did a great job.
Yeah, Go AutoWorks. Greg at Go AutoWorks. He makes a ton of turbocharger kits for Hondas and other Japanese cars. He makes anything you can think of. He makes catch cans, overflow tanks, custom for certain vehicles.
Awesome.
You can call him and he just makes you stuff.
Okay.
He's a little bit pricey, but if you look at the welds, you can't beat that. His work is phenomenal. And again, like, he made all of that off of measurements. He never sold a car because
Right.
he lives in the East Coast.
That's impressive.
yeah.
That's
So,
impressive.
Greg knows what he's doing.
Oh my god, are you gonna watch this?
Fuck! going everywhere. Like, to me it seems smooth. Can be a little scary because it's a 30-year-old car, but
no speeding tickets?
no speeding tickets.
Brother.
I have a U-turn ticket, and that's it. But yeah, like on the freeway, like cruising 65, it's just smooth and normal. The coilovers on it are pretty soft, but they still handle really well.
It rides nice.
And that's why I've kind of kept them, because I drive my car a lot, and this all the time, it's not fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, my car would probably be faster if I had full body, like stiff coilovers, but it wouldn't be joyful to drive.
Yeah.
You know, this I can.
This is great.
Yeah, it's great every day. And then I got a nice cushion on the sidewall too, so that helps.
Dude, this is sweet. You must be at like 4,000 RPM at 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, like I'm around 4, yeah. So it's definitely reaming out, but it's all right. Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all.
It feels a lot faster than 300 horsepower.
Yeah, it does.
Even though it's not like, and for a Honda, it's kind of heavy. Like if this was in a CRX, you know how much faster it would be? Dude, the tires just like picking up rocks though.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the nice thing with this setup, with this transmission and everything, I can cruise at 2,000 RPMs in town in 5th gear. And it's quiet, you know, super under the radar in town.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this car is probably quieter than your Honda just cruising, than your 9th gen. Like, just cruising.
Well, you'd be surprised. My my 9th gen has a full race exhaust. Any given gear, if you're not on the throttle, if you're just like holding your speed, it's silent. And
That's
as soon
cool.
as you give it a little bit of gas, it starts to come up. It's very weird. My 10th gen was different. My 10th gen had drones, so at any point in the throttle application, it was loud.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is like, if you're not on it, it's quiet.
Yeah. The nice thing is like, the nice thing about that is, if I'm doing like a pull and I'm at 5 grand, I try to go like 6 grand in my pulls. It's not at 50% throttle, so when I get on it, VTEC and boost just hit at the same time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because VTEC's not engaged until I get more than that percent. I have to give it to ACT clutches though. This clutch has been through 3 different blocks and countless blown up transmissions, and it still holds strong.
Impressive. Is it a 6-block or a 6-pack?
It's a full disc.
Okay, so wow, interesting. Okay, this is cool, man. I love this, guys. I love this. And the seats are actually pretty comfortable. This is so nice though. You can see right down there. This is not the original carpet. He said he sourced this from a junker.
But it's factory carpet.
Yeah, but it's a factory carpet, but I mean, you can see, pretty sure through those holes you could probably see the ground. So it doesn't have any HVAC, remember? So this is probably where, you know, like the CD, the radio controls were in HVAC, and he relocated just one screen right here. Pretty smart.
I got pulled over by CHP one time and he popped my hood. And I was holding the hood up for a second. He's like, do you have anything to hold the hood? I was like, oh yeah. And I generally had a red one and we called it Consuela and it matched the car. And I kept it underneath the hood. So I grabbed it and put it up and he was like, really? I was like, yeah, you know, I couldn't afford anything else. You know, I had to get one of these.
Did you get in trouble for having like a supercharger on it?
The officer was not trying to get me in trouble. Because he didn't see me do anything illegal, he just heard me. And the front of this car is pretty loud to Supercharger when it's in higher RPM. So he didn't see me do anything or speeding or anything like that. And I was just 100% honest with him. he pulled me over and he asked me, what's under the car? And I said, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's supercharged. Like, at the end of the day, if you lie to a cop, they're gonna pop your hood anyways, and then they're gonna just lose the trust in you. I also have a pretty good driving record, and I've never been arrested or anything like that, so that plays a good factor. And you just gotta be civil with the police officers. You know, they're just doing their job half the time. He was trying to find ways to make it legal. Like, he was like, okay, what brand is the Supercharger and all that? And then he went back to his car, and he was like, all right, so the company does make a street legal one, but I'm not gonna look at your numbers and try to crawl on the ground and see if it's legal. But he did say, do not drive it on Fridays or Saturdays. We have a lot of really bad sideshows in Santa Rosa.
Really?
Which is kind of nice because it pulls it away from the import cars. Because it's all like the Camaros and the Challengers and stuff that are doing it. Yep. Yeah. So the cops really don't look at our cars, you know, the imports anymore unless you're doing something dumb. So he let me go. He just said, try not to drive it on Fridays and Saturdays because certain CHPs will impound this car.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey, that's a nice cop.
Yeah, he was super cool. I was honest with him.
Okay, so that was definitely the fastest car I've ever been in, or at least it felt like the fastest. The 3 fastest cars I've been in my entire life. One was Patrick's Camaro SS that I reviewed last summer. That was extremely fast. I think he was doing like 470 horsepower to the wheels. And then another one was a Dodge Viper. I reviewed that at the very beginning of my channel, and I didn't really do a good job with the video, but it's somewhere on my channel if you want to watch it. And then this one felt terrifying. So it's different when you have a car that doesn't have a lot of torque. It just continuously pulls more G's, more G-force, the higher in the RPMs you go. So when you punch the Integra, it doesn't really have a lot of torque, but it just makes so much power all the way to red line. And that feels different compared to a Camaro SS or a Dodge Viper, because when you hit the gas on those, you just get all this torque immediately. But yeah, that was really cool. Maybe when I get my Type R and I have it tuned, I mean, I'd have to be making like 400 to the wheels to put up a fight against that Integra, I think. Or maybe not, maybe 370, 380. But, because that Integra only weighs 2,500 pounds. So yeah, thank you very much, Matt, for coming all the way out here. We got some cheeseburgers after and talked a little more before we left. But I definitely want to go try some half-mile events this summer. He was telling me about one that is located in the Bakersfield area, which is pretty much central California. So I'd have to drive down like, I don't know, 4 hours to get there, 4 or 5 hours. So next video, you are going to see me with my GoPro footage, test driving and almost buying a 2018 Type R that's located about, I don't know, 2 hours away from me. It just didn't feel right at the moment, but I'll talk a lot more about that situation in the next video. And I'm gonna need your guys' help to find a Type R. Oh my God, it's so tough to find one near me for a good price. It's so tough. I'll see you on Friday.